What's up everybody, David Rodriguez here, Stomp Tricking, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to improve your cardiovascular system. So we're going to kind of continue the same theme that we had from last week, but whenever we talk about improving our cardiovascular system, typically the idea of having to run for 30 to 90 minutes comes up, right? And you're just going and going and it's so boring. Well, turns out that you don't actually have to run for 30 to 90 minutes to improve your cardiovascular system, although I will say from personal experience, personal anecdote, it is a very good method of improving your aerobic system. There's a reason it works, there's a reason that people have talked about it for so long. However, for my meatheads who kind of want to take a little bit less time in the gym or just don't want to be staring at scenery, huffing and puffing for 30 to 90 minutes, this will be for you. Now, the reason that we use the cardiac output for increasing your aerobic system is because you have two different ways of improving your cardiovascular system. Fun fact. So you have eccentric hypertrophy and concentric hypertrophy. Eccentric hypertrophy is that as blood begins to fill the left ventricle of your heart, it'll actually start to, if enough blood gets in there, it'll actually start to enlarge in that ventricle, right? So it'll go from here, the ventricle gets bigger, allowing you to push more blood into the heart, into your body. Now, the second method, or the second one, concentric hypertrophy, is the actual walls of the heart enlarging as well, okay? So allowing for more force, right? It's a little bit stronger. It can squeeze all that blood out of your heart just a little bit more, right? So eccentric is going to be more for like blood injection. Hypertrophy is going to be more for the whole total force in squeezing everything out. So this method is going to be more focused on concentric hypertrophy, or we're talking about enlarging the heart, because we're going to be working at a little bit of a higher intensity compared to the volume that we're doing. This method is called the explosive repeat. Now this was developed by Verkhoshansky, who is a Russian sports scientist from way back in the day. He did a whole bunch of studies, contributed a lot to the field of like sports science and sports performance, looking at the stretch reflex cycle, right? When we talk about like explosiveness. So this is where it's developed from. Now, you have two series. So a series is just like I kind of consider like a mini workout in and of itself. And so what we're going to be doing is that for your first series, which can end up being anywhere from 6 to 10 sets, depending on how far along you are in your program for this, so for week 1, you're going to do 10 to 12 seconds of active work per 60 seconds of rest. Okay, so for your first, and what seems to work the best is anything that is like squat jumps or explosive push-ups. So this is very similar to what I did when I started doing this method to improve my cardiovascular system. So 10 to 12 seconds of squat jumps, 60 seconds of rest. Again, 10 to 12 seconds now of explosive push-ups, 60 seconds of rest. And then you switch, 10 to 12 seconds of squat jumps, 60 seconds of rest, 10 to 12 seconds of explosive push-ups, so on and so forth until you finish the amount of sets that you have, increasing the number of sets as you continue on through the week and decreasing the amount of rest that you have. So you can do this series twice, or you can do a different kind of workout. So instead of having a squat and a push, you can have a hinge and a pull. So for my second series, I would do kettlebell swings and I would do pull-ups instead of push-ups. So you can mix it up, or if you just want to have hard, just straight intensity all the way through, you can just do squat jumps for each thing. It just depends on how you want to frame your workouts. So again, we're going to want to try and continue this throughout the week or throughout the following weeks. Use this method, or if you're going to use this method, this is what I would recommend. So for week 1, you're going to have 10 to 12 seconds active of the workout then you will go into 60 seconds of rest, and you just keep alternating between the sets. Now, with 8 to 10 minutes of active rest in between your series. So active rest can be anything from light jump rope to some light like shadow boxing to like just like moving around, just being active and not just like sitting down looking at your phone or doing whatever, just making sure that your heart rate is just slightly elevated before you start your second series. Then for week 2, right, you'll go, we have to increase the work rate and decrease the rest time. So 12 to 14 seconds of activity to 40 seconds of rest. Same thing, 8 to 10 minutes of active rest in between your series. Week 3, 14 to 16 seconds of activity to 30 seconds of rest. Again, 8 to 10 minutes active rest in between your series. Now, as far as mixing it up, or how can we actually kind of apply it to, I guess, like a real world scenario. So, for example, say that you wanted to, improve your cardiovascular system, and you did want to use this method, but there's a gathering that's coming up within maybe like 6 weeks, right? So that gives you roughly a month and a half to prepare for the gathering. So for the first 3 weeks, right, you can use this method to increase your overall general fitness, right? So improving your push, your pull, your squat, your hinge, like that, right? So you do your 2 series. You can only do it. You can do it once a week, or you can do it twice a week. It just depends on how you want to do it, right? So you work through each week. Boom, 1, 2, and 3. So now you have 3 weeks left before the gathering. So what are you going to do? Well, you can actually now make it more specific. You can start sharpening the focus of the workout. So now it doesn't even have to be squat jumps. They can be like round kicks for 10 to 12 seconds. You can do hook kicks for 10 to 12 seconds. You can do some kind of perhaps more specific work, like if you know how to touchdown rise multiple times in a row, you can practice touchdown rise multiple times in a row. If you are able to hold on to a gainer switch for 10 to 12 seconds, by all means, go for it, right? So it doesn't just have to be, or if you can do like multiple B kicks in a row, or depending on like what exercise that you want to do, or you can even just make it into combos, right? It doesn't have to be this. You can just do regular, quick, easy combos, and obviously increase the difficulty, or increase the difficulty of the combo, and increase the time as you get closer and closer to the gathering, which will be a very similar format to how a battle would be conducted, right? So you would probably only be tricking for maybe, if that, 10 to 12 seconds. I don't know if you've ever tried to trick for 10 to 12 seconds, like continuously. Not your clip says you tricked for 10 to 12 seconds, but you actually only tricked for maybe 5 seconds, and then even then you were gassed. Exactly, right? So you'll get 10 to 12 seconds of full combo, whatever it is that you're gonna do, 60 seconds of rest while that other person does their pass, right? And then as you get more and more, as you work up your waist, just like you would for general fitness, you work up your tricking, 40 seconds of rest, 30 seconds of rest, and then bam, take your week off or whatever, it's time for the gathering, and now you should be prepared. Hopefully, if you did everything correctly, you will be physically prepared to take on your battles. So, this is David Rodriguez with some more cardiac aerobic system development. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I hope y'all use this method. I hope it helps you. If you do use it, please let me know what you think about it. I will see you on the next video. Peace.